one of the most powerful ways that we can actually reclaim our power, our essence, our wholeness is to cultivate a connection with our higher self, our divine self, God, the universe, whatever we want to call that. And when we live in such a busy, frantic world with so much polarizing beliefs, and particularly right now, just so much fear being imbued into the news and the media and the confusion about the information that we're getting, it can create so much disconnection and a lot of frenetic overactivation in our nervous systems. So if you're someone that knows you're sensitive, this is a really hard time to stay grounded. And I'm finding for myself that one of the most important things to do right now is actually expand the frame from which I'm experiencing and viewing all of reality. What I mean by that is befriending and really deepening my relationship with the wisdom that lives within and in all things. And that means noticing when I'm in my own conditioning and when I'm experiencing old trauma arising again, that creates a sense of fragmentation and separation. Because I think right now, more than ever, what's needed is for us to come home to ourselves, especially in the midst of chaos. And so this program that I've designed really was birthed out of a conversation that I was having with one of the students in one of my classes, where we were talking about one of the principles of power reclamation is called whole being wisdom. And that is really being able to dial back into all these different channels of intelligence that we have. You know, it's not just about our intellect and reason. It's about our heart intelligence, gut feelings, our intuition. You know, there's other ways that we access intelligence, our erotic intelligence, which for me is about our life force, like tapping the life force of our creativity. And then there's the intelligence of just being present, being space. Like, what's it like to actually be the person in the room that's not actually fighting for airtime and fighting to actually have an opinion, but the one that sits back in space and brings love and presence. There's so many different qualities of intelligence. And when we were talking about this, one of the students and I were reflecting on the most powerful place that we're wanting to cultivate more of in our lives right now is direct connection with our higher wisdom. And again, you could call that 1,000 different names, but it's the place where we have the mindset that everything, no matter how hard it is somehow wisdom and intelligence and curriculum for us to embody more and dismantle more of our conditioning, to come into love and out of fear over and over again. And so the cultivation is actually knowing that when we set an intention for something, sometimes we set it out of our ego, something that we think we want that's going to make us happy, and there's no problem with that. But there's also an intention setting that is a relinquishing of how it's supposed to look and just being in the longing in our heart of what we want to cultivate more of inside of ourselves, in the world, or what we want to turn our attention away from that keeps pulling us out of being in our joy and in our hearts and in a sense of well-being. Really, ultimately, how do we come back into our power when there's so much fear inside and out? And so the practice really in this whole 30-day initiatory process is we are going to collectively place our attention on the intelligence of a higher power, the wisdom of our being that is so much greater than our mind can even wrap its arms around. So we will be coming with something that is, it can be, for you, it might be a longing, something that you, let's say you want to be in partnership and it hasn't manifested. You come with this longing and you relinquish and let go of how it's supposed to manifest, but really staying in what it is that you most long for in love. Or maybe it's a way of being where you're actually learning, I no longer want to be run and driven by my need to control my life because it's not working. I want to learn how to surrender and follow the flow so that I'm feeling like I'm in the magic and the mystery, that things are coming to me. I'm not chasing them. I'm not striving for answers. I'm not trying to fix everything. I'm yielding, I'm waiting, I'm being shown. And when I'm shown, I know it's time to move. And it's a delicate dance between this yin energy, which is more reflective, contemplative, listening, yielding, and then the yang energy, which is take action, make things happen, put it into form. So the dance that about intention is really being in an inquiry of like, how do we begin to marry the yin and the yang within us? And how do we do that? My sense is we connect with our higher self. We connect with the wisdom that is outside of our fear body. It's outside of the places that keep us limited. And then the way that we do that, we befriend it all. We turn towards and understand that we are conditioned. It's part of being here. We have amnesia. It's part of being here. We are not broken. We're human, and we're discovering all the ways that we innocently turn against ourselves in order to create safety. Yeah, safety. Some people don't think that they have an issue around safety. They feel like they're safe in the world. But I feel like most psychological threats, most threats of being rejected, being abandoned, feeling disempowered, feeling taken advantage of, being manipulated, the threats of all those things come from a place of we don't have our own sovereignty, that someone can take something away from us. And on a physical level, they can. But who are we inside, and how do we meet those places when we feel like we're losing control? So this invitation is really to turn towards yourself. And the time when everything outside is, if it's like it is for me, it's asking you to turn away. What happens in 30 days when you make a commitment to turn towards the wisdom that is here to guide you, wanting you to remember who you truly are? And what happens when you do that with a group of people? That's what this program is about. So traversing the initiate's path is this 30-day meditation practice. You'll download a guided meditation that I've created called Traversing the Initiate's Path. You'll use that every day, and you can also intersperse that with silent meditation. And you'll be tracking what you're noticing during the day, synchronicities, conversations, new insights that are related to intention that you're holding. And you'll be using this process to help you integrate. So being able to come to 4 live calls that we'll have together where you can bring your questions, you can bring your celebrations, you can bring how magic is arising to guide the way for you, or where you're feeling stuck. Everything's welcome. That's the place that we get to witness each other, and I'm happy to offer any kind of one-on-one support during those calls. So if you're interested, please take a look at the link here, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me. But again, the goal is for you to discover who you become in 30 days when you focus your attention on the essence of who you are, on the wisdom of your own being. So I look forward to seeing you if you decide to come and play.